Going live with the public comments for the work session of the Cobb County Board of Education. And I hope the sound quality turns out better on this one than it did on the one last month. You'll essentially see the backs of the heads of the public commenters. But I think from this vantage point, and plus I'm handing out lavalier mics, that the sound quality on this one should be better. And I just turned public comments on. I'm not 100% certain whether that does it on YouTube and Facebook both, but we'll see. Sometimes they ask. No, we can always make their issue. Yeah, if you don't mind. Yes. You know, it used to be even. Let me add you to the we archive all the digital. Okay. I just. Some of you might have been treated to a live stream of my feed. I wanted to record a conversation I had with one of the Cobb School District staffers who was discussing with me signing up as media and then being required to sit in the back of the room, which my own view is that's a violation of the Georgia Open Records Act. And I'd rather just be here as a regular person and sit in the front than to be shoved into the back of the room with a babysitter. Yeah. Here's the area they consign the media to. I'm going to spin it around and see if I can show you. Way back in Siberia or Antarctica. You are not going to get a very good shot of the public commenters because I'm mostly concerned with the sound quality this time. I'll try to pan around a little bit so you can see them as they walk up to the podium. Luckily, the work session is not all that well attended, so I can practice getting this live stream right on this meeting. And then when the regular meeting this evening, which will be much better attended, happens, I should be able to at least work out some of the bugs. Now we're getting to hear some nice elevator music here.
September 18th, 2025 work session. If you would please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Let's move on to public comments. But first, I would like to read a statement. The board sets aside 30 minutes of each meeting to allow members of the public to offer public comments directly to the board and superintendent on issues they believe are important to our schools. To maximize the opportunity for the number of people wishing to speak, this is not an interactive process. Board members do not interrupt, respond to, or engage with public commenters. Commenters acknowledge that public comment is not unrestricted. Commenters should be familiar with board policies and rules regarding public comment. They agree they will not raise individual personnel issues before the board or individual student issues. Commenters bear full responsibility for the comments made. They acknowledge the board members will not react, and they agree to follow the chairman's instructions when the chair is enforcing those agreements. The timer will begin automatically when the commenter arrives at the podium. Additionally, to ensure that the views of citizens are not obstructed during the meeting and for safety purposes, only one speaker will be allowed at the podium at a time, with the exception of a parent or guardian accompanying a minor. If you would like to show your support of a speaker, you're welcome to stand in place. I also want to remind everyone in the room that we must keep the center aisle clear. Do not stand in front of the stanchions in the center aisle, in front of the exit door, or in front of the side exit. No disruption to any part of our meeting will be allowed. If you wish to record any portion of someone's public comment or the meeting, you may record from your seat. The board appreciates all of our community members that choose to participate in the public comment section of the board meeting. Ms. Wilcox.
Mr. Chair, our first speaker is Monica Delancey, to be followed by Tracy O'Connor.
Greetings. My name is Monica Delancey. We thrive on Riverside Rental Association 110%. I did want to spend some of my time discussing some very good information pertaining to me personally, but I just want to move on to thank Michelle Davis, Mr. Trey Hutchins, Mr. Randy Scalaborn, and Mr. Brad Willer for attending the State of the City Mableton address last week. We know you took time out of your busy schedule to come and support the entire Mableton district, but also it was held in the Riverside community at the Riverside episode. So I want to thank you for that. And I'm going to yield my time for a moment of silence for the public community. Okay?
$30 seconds.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker is Tracy O'Connor, to be followed by Jenny Peterson.
I came here today to express my deep concern about the suspension of Cobb County teachers for items that they posted on their personal social media. I have 3 sons that have attended Cobb County schools and have been pleased with their education, as included books and history lessons that have taught them about the dangers of propaganda, witch hunts, censorship, and blindly following the crowd. Their teachers have taught them the importance of learning from history and literature without including their own personal and political bias, and for that I am grateful. But our teachers are expected to do so much more these days. If heaven forbid an active shooter should come into one of our schools, our teachers and staff would be on the front line to keep the students safe. I can't express enough how disappointed I am that we as a nation have not done more to take serious action against this threat. So with this in mind, I can't believe that you would punish them for having and expressing opinions on their own social media pages. Not in a classroom, not acting as a spokesperson for Cobb County schools, but as a private individual. This action feels like a knee-jerk response to an intensely polarizing event. Do we really want to incentivize parents and school staff to tattle on our teachers? Is this the way that we build a strong school community? The Cobb County School Board majority have already shown that they are not in favor of speech that they cannot control. They do not allow the public to comment on their Facebook posts. They no longer broadcast public comments. It seems to me that we do not want the public to be engaged stakeholders, but would prefer that we sit down and shut up and not bother them with our pesky concerns. But I can't not speak up for the teachers when it is the teachers that have done so much for our children. They deserve the right to make their opinions known on their own social media outlets, even if I disagree with them. They do not deserve to have to be looking over their shoulder at every moment in their private lives, wondering if somebody is going to turn them in because they do not like their beliefs. Surely we as adults have the discernment to understand what actions or speech are actually harmful to students versus opinions that rub us the wrong way. Thank you for your time.
Our next speaker is Jenny Peterson, to be followed by Jeff Hubbard.
Good afternoon. I'm Jenny Peterson, mother of now 1 student and 1 graduate of Wheeler Confederate Memorial High School. Health challenges have kept me away from seeing y'all, but I'm here while you still even have public comment. Let's start there. No less than the Heritage Foundation says the First Amendment prevents the government from suppressing any viewpoint, no matter how controversial, and people can't be silenced based on what they might say in a public forum. You're still facing a lawsuit for infringing on the First Amendment rights of 2 local parents when your staff determined there were too many bad guys lined up for public comment in September 2023 and moved the sign-up process at the last minute so those critics couldn't speak. The Microsoft Teams messages are still available if you need to refresh your memory. Now you're working against dissent by not having our public comments recorded and broadcast to be part of the public record of your meetings. But now you're policing employees' private social media posts as well. And the most confusing part to me is that you say this impacts the classroom, but when did they read their social media posts in the classroom? And what will you do next? Are you going to start reading teachers' text messages? Are you going to start looking at personnel's personal emails? I don't want to give you all ideas. You silenced Kanye on their report about board dysfunction. You know you intentionally silenced voters when you changed the maps. You silenced a Cobb grand jury by not acting on their findings about purchasing irregularities. And the superintendent's contract tamps down dissent within the school board lest it trigger a multi-million-dollar payout. And most egregious, your rules about the meeting agenda silenced thousands of Cobb voters because the representatives of 3 school board posts can't bring items for discussion. But you've budgeted an extra $900,000 for the award-winning communications team to tell only the stories you want. Aren't you all exhausted by this? Wouldn't you rather win people over by the strength of your arguments and not by muzzling dissent? As always, I'm rooting for you and for all of our schools.
Our final speaker is Jeff Hubbard.
Good afternoon, Jeff. I
One
was
person at the podium, please.
Thank you, Superintendent.
going to start over.
Yeah, can we reset?
Jeff Hubbard, CCAE.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Rexel. I didn't notice that.
Thank you, Jeff, I'm CCAE. I'm going to speak today on employee leave and returning to work. When an employee is out for illness, injury, et cetera, they take an FMLA, sick leave, et cetera. They have to get a return, a clear for duty statement. We've had some situations where principals have not automatically allowed them to come back when they are cleared for duty. This has caused a hardship to some of our employees. So what we're asking is when an employee has to come back, and for some reason the principal thinks that there's something holding them back, they can't meet with an accommodation, et cetera. We're asking that the principal give them that information, or HR give them that information. So if you may have an accommodation, but based upon your job, you're still not able to work. Because we want to keep the best and the brightest here working with the kids, but we also got to make sure that we protect our employees' livelihood as well. And if they're not quite ready, the principal just shouldn't say you can't come back, because that's demeaning to the employee. One little known thing about Cobb County is that y'all are actually able to take the Affordable Care Act and hire a very finite amount of employees back after they retire without that 6-month period. And they've done that with 2 central office employees, and it's gone exceptionally well for those 2 people. What we're asking in future years, thank you. We know it's a very small number, but in some of our schools, hard to fill places, hard to fill schools, if we could squeeze some retired teachers in there, reading specialists, math specialists to help us with literacy rate, passing rates, that would be sincerely appreciated. So, and we do know it is a very tiny number that you can put in. Anything to improve instruction in this county, we sincerely appreciate. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, that was our final speaker.
Thank you, Ms. Wilcox. So next we have approval of the minutes from the.
Listen to this. This is amazing.
4, 3, 2. All right, and thank you
And
to our
that
public
is
commenters.
public comment.
Next, we have the approval of the minutes from the Thursday, August 21st.